Later that night, the boat was in the middle of the lake, and he was alone on land. He saw the disciples straining at the oars because the wind was against them. Shortly before dawn, he went out to them, walking on the lake. He was about to pass by them, but when they saw him walking on the lake, they thought he was a ghost. They cried out because they all saw him and were terrified. Immediately he spoke to them and said, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." Then he climbed into the boat with them, and the wind died down. They were completely amazed, for they had not understood about the loaves. Their hearts were hardened. When they had crossed over, they landed at Gennesaret and anchored there. As soon as they got out of the boat, people recognized Jesus. They ran throughout that whole region and carried those who were ill on mats to wherever they heard he was. And wherever he went, into villages, towns, or countryside, they placed those who were ill in the marketplaces. They begged him to let them touch even the edge of his cloak, and all who touched it were healed.
Mark, chapter 6, verses 47 to 56. I'm standing just outside of the parish of South Bersted at the Rolls-Royce Technical Centre. It's been here since 2016. There are two buildings. There's one that's 200,000 square feet, and in it they contain logistics and parts. It serves the main factory over at Goodwood, 5 miles away. There's also one here which is 100,000 square feet. They have workshop in it. They store and maintain their fleet of vehicles. What do these Rolls-Royce brands have in common? The Rolls-Royce Ghost, the Wraith, the Phantom, the Spirit. They seem to love to name their cars after something which is a little bit mysterious, something maybe even otherworldly. Quiet, silent, here one moment, gone the next. Very fast. Well, Jesus is mistaken for a ghost. Another one of their names of their brands in our passage today. Well, what's been happening? Jesus has sent his disciples in a boat, and yet he has not gone with them. He's gone to pray. He knows exactly what's in store. They are straining at the oars for hours. He's praying for them. He'd love them to trust in him and to understand his identity. It's not just that Jesus does miracles that is the clue to the fact that he is the Son of God. After all, other people in the Bible have done miracles. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are God. They haven't yet understood when Jesus broke the bread and multiplied these loaves, his true identity. So, from the vantage point of up on the cliff top, he sees their struggle, and yet he comes down. He draws alongside, physically present with them, even by miraculously walking on the water. These are no sandbanks. And it's as though he's going to pass them. And he says, I am. It's not just that he says, it's me. The words are, I am. This is God's way of revealing himself. I am who I am. Yahweh, the Lord. Well, the disciples are not only amazed, they are frightened, but they need to swap their fear for faith. Jesus does get into the boat with them. You know, another one of the models of cars that they have here is the Rolls-Royce Dawn. It indicates new beginnings, fresh horizons, a new start. You know, it's their most popular soft top version, so there's plenty of light and brightness. They sometimes say, don't they, that the darkest hour is before the dawn. The disciples are still frightened and fearful, and yet what Jesus longs is for them to trust in him, to understand his identity. How about you? Don't let Jesus pass you by. Have him in the boat of your life with you. It's impossible for us to get to the other side in our own strength. But with Jesus, he will make it possible. Father, thank you that Jesus is Lord. I want to swap my fear for faith. I want to trust in Jesus, even through the storms of my life, when I'm straining at the oars and I don't understand why it seems as though Jesus is not present with me. Thank you that Jesus is the only one who can get me safely through this life to the other side. I welcome Jesus into the boat of my life with me. I don't want to have a hard heart. I want to welcome him for who he is as my Lord and rescuer. Amen.